Bang. Okay. I am back. I'm gonna follow another course because, well, is what I'm doing right now. I got a bunch of these courses, so I want to go through as many as possible before I start my next project. Um, this next course is a SkillShare course. It's a SkillShare course about industrial design. So basically, it's perspective, and I still have problems with drawing perspective. So we're gonna see what he's all about, and then we're gonna follow his course, and we're just gonna follow along. Let's see what happens, man. This course has a total of 12 videos. So I want to go through it like in one sitting. So let's see how long it takes. I'll be following along with whatever he draws. Those are the rules of the game. Uh, if he gives any homework, I'll probably skip it because I don't want to do homework. We're just going to draw what he draws. And let's get going. Let's go. Industrial design sketching. Learn to sketch products in perspective and boost your creativity. Let's go.
Hey, my name is Marwan Bemley. I'm an industrial designer, and I'm going to be your teacher in this course. I've been sketching ever since I was old enough to hold a pen, and this is a passion of mine that I really love to share with other people. So what is this course all about? Well, first of all, it's about perspective sketching. Now, if you look up perspective sketching tutorials in any book or on YouTube or something like that, you're going to find the same basic type of sketching. You put out the two-point perspective, you draw all the lines, so you make a grid system, and then you start to design your product or whatever it is you're sketching. Now, I was looking for an alternative to this years ago, and I came up with something I call cloud sketching. Now, I think this technique is much more fun to sketch than if you put up a grid system, and it's way easier too. It doesn't complicate things. I try to simplify everything in my sketching, and I kind of want to show you how I do that. It might sound crazy right now, but I'm sure, trust me on this, once you get inside the course and you see what it's all about, I'm sure it's going to make sense to you as well. We're also going to talk about sketcher's block and how to overcome that. Everybody has some block every now and then. We have writers, they have something called writer's block. I like to call, when I have a block, I call it sketcher's block because I sketch. It makes sense. We're going to talk about how to overcome sketcher's block and how to get the creativity back with some exercises that always work for me, especially in the morning, sometimes even before I have my first cup of coffee, which is amazing. So we're going to talk about that inside the course, and I hope to see you there. And thank you so much for checking out this video.
I've heard of writer's block. Yes. I've heard of like not being inspired to draw anything. Yes. The sketcher's block. It's a nice term. I've never had it before because there's always something to draw. And if you don't know what to draw, you just draw whatever in front of you. Those are the rules of the game. But okay. That was video 1. Let's go to video 2 and see what he is teaching us.
All right, so I hope everybody have their coffee ready and are excited to jump into lecture 1.
I don't drink coffee.
In this lecture, we're going to talk about sketcher's block and how to overcome that, because it's a pain when you have it. It might be, usually for me, that happens in the mornings when my brain is not really fully awake yet and I need to come up with something creative or shapes or something like that. So what I do, first of all, I grab a cup of coffee because that seems to solve half of the problem at least.
Coffee is bad for you.
The second half of the problem, I start with a blank sheet of paper like this. Now, It might seem intimidating with a blank sheet of paper because you feel the pressure to fill it with something cool, right? With something creative or whatever. But that's the wrong, kind of the wrong way of thinking of this particular problem. When you have it, you don't want to think of it as you need to fill the paper. Basically, what you don't want to think at all. You want to keep your hand moving all the time without even thinking what it is you're doing. That way, your hand is always one step ahead of your thinking, and you don't really sketch what you think, but you sketch just what you feel. So, for example, I can start out like this.
Okay, let's follow along. Okay, do another one, huh? Okay. You're gonna draw another one, huh? Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay, so what we have here, now, obviously this does not make sense to anybody, not even yourself probably. It doesn't make sense to me right now. But the cool thing is that we're starting to see some shapes in here now. And we're starting to see that maybe out of this we can start to connect some of these dots here, some of these edges, and start to connect these to make something that eventually is going to be something really cool. And the crazy thing about this is while you're doing this, you automatically start, you start your brain up by doing this. Even if you don't really think about it, but your brain is starting to wake up, so to speak, and come up with ideas that you can continue to develop through this method. And if you fill a paper like this, a sheet of paper like this with random shapes, and you still feel like, man, this is not working out for me. I got nothing. You don't have to worry. Just make another sheet of paper like this. And if you see that on the previous sheet of paper you made a lot of circles, for example, you might want to think about making another sheet of paper doing, let's say, cubes. Why not? In perspective or not, it doesn't matter. So what the point here is just to start getting your hand to move. That's the whole idea with this exercise. And I tell you, it helps me almost every single time when I have a sketcher's block and I feel like nothing is coming out and it gets frustrating. I start doing this. So try it out, and I think it's going to work for you too. I really hope so. If it doesn't, just keep doing a few sheets like this, and I can almost guarantee that after the third sheet, your sketcher's block is going to be unblocked.
Okay, so basically just draw random shapes on a page and then try to find whatever is inside of that, what you see, to get rid of Sketcher's block. Interesting method. Not sure it would apply to me because, like I said, I've never had Sketcher's block. But I drawing and then connecting it to make something that is pretty interesting. I'm not gonna do it. We're just gonna go to the next video. It's an interesting concept. It's not super motivating me anything right now. I don't even feel like doing it. So we're just gonna go to the next one.
Okay, so let's move ahead and make the same exercise we just did. But this time, instead of using organic shapes like we did in the first exercise, we're gonna start by using lines. So we can do the same exercise, sketching a bunch of lines like this.
Okay, let's go.
And see if your brain picks up on any shape here that you might want to continue to work on. So for example here, I'm starting to see something interesting here. This shape, I kind of like this shape. And it's nothing that I thought about before, beforehand. This just came up right now as I was doing this exercise. So what I want to do now is start to explore to see if there's really something there. With absolutely no pressure at all. If it's nothing, if you feel like it doesn't really give you anything, that's totally fine. Just move on with continue to do these lines.
That was a super quick video. I don't even. That was a super quick video, but okay. He told me to continue on, see if I can find anything in here that's worth looking at. I don't even know what I am looking at, but let's push it out a little bit, see what happens. Don't know what we're doing here, but I see something. So I'm just gonna see if I can make something happen uh, that would either make it worth it or I don't know, man. The guy told me to draw, keep drawing until it looks like something, and if it looks like nothing, just let it go. I feel like I should let this one go because I don't see any cool shape in this. I have not practiced this, nor is my brain activating for anything. I'm just gonna let it go. Next video.
So we can start to maybe try and get some shapes, features inside of this cool shape here. Something like this. You can start to maybe shade this part here.
Okay.
That gives us something.
So what he's looking at is something like
The
this.
rest of this shape.
He's looking at something like this.
Maybe make something like this down here.
And then he put like a little.
The thing right now is that and the more I do this, the faster I will get back on track with sketching whatever it is I'm supposed to be sketching. It depends on if you have an assignment or something like that, or you're working on a project of something like a specific product. Then it might be a good idea to start off not sketching those kind of products at all to start with, because that's going to kind of block your mind into thinking a certain way. And that's why I love this exercise so much, because it really opens up the creative part of your brain, and it helps you come up with ideas and shapes that maybe you can even combine with the shape that you're currently working on. So this is just an idea with the lines on how to really unblock your sketcher's block. It works with any kind of shapes or any organic or sharp shapes. You can do whatever you want, as long as you fill at least one paper. And if it doesn't work for you, I would love to hear about it and just hear your thoughts on it. Why you think it doesn't work for you? You can write it in the discussions of this course or the community. So yeah, it works with both sharp shapes and lines and circles. As long as you just combine these and try whatever you feel is cool for you, and just see what you come up with.
Interesting system though. I have to admit that I like the whole just draw thingy. I have to admit I like that, because sometimes we tend to overthink our drawings. Like, it needs to look like this, it needs to look like this. But just drawing for the sake of drawing might actually be pretty therapeutic, is the word I would use for it. Yeah, therapeutic. Yeah. Because I don't know what the hell I'm making here, but I am making something. That's the cool part. That's what he's telling me. And I like that. Yes, I do. I like that. Heck. You might say he actually taught me something. Just draw random shapes on the paper and just connect them and then see if you can find anything in there that's worth looking at. All right. That makes sense in a way. Okay. No, not a bad concept. Seriously, not a bad concept. Huh. Okay. Next video, I'm gonna get rid of this piece of paper because we did it. Yes, sir. Yeah, in case you're wondering, I got a whole stack of paper, like right here. This is how I like to draw. Like, I'll show you what I'm saying. This is my stack of paper. My rule is I have to get through this stack as fast as possible, so I can move on to the next stack. Because the more paper I stack up, the better I am. The rules of the game for drawing is the more you practice, the better you get. And the more sheets I go through, the more practice I did. That's how I look at my results, by the amount of papers I went through. Okay.
Okay, so let's move ahead with perspective basics and how I prefer to sketch whenever I sketch in perspective. You can read about the normal way, I guess, to sketching perspective. You can find that everywhere in every single sketching book, on every video on YouTube. That if you search perspective sketching, you're gonna get
Hmm.
this version right here, where you have a horizon line,
Yes, indeed. Hold up.
make a grid line, something like this, right?
The horizon line. Yeah, you make a
And
grid.
then once you have all these lines set in place, you can start by sketching your cube here, for example. To me, I mean, don't get me wrong, this probably works great if you're just starting out with sketching. Then it's
I
probably,
messed this up so bad.
I mean, it is probably the best way to start like this.
But
If
basically,
you're just starting out with sketching and learning the basics of perspective sketching. But for me, I'm a bit impatient. So setting up a grid line like this and a grid system takes it, for me it just takes too long. I just want to get into the product sketching as soon as possible, or whatever it is I'm sketching. It doesn't have to be products, it can be faces or something like that. And how I do that, so here's the version how I do it. So you want to start by thinking of, first of all, what is it that you're going to sketch?
okay.
Get that clear. That's the first step. Let's say I want to sketch a coffee cup. Okay, I have one here on my desk. It just popped up in my head. So we want to first try to think of it as a silhouette or an outline.
Okay.
What are the main features of a coffee cup? And
Cylinder.
I almost
Cylinder.
every single time I start with an ellipse. I don't know why, it just works. Ellipses are easy to mold once you get them down, once you get the proportions down. So let's start with an egg like this. Doesn't have to be perfect at all whatsoever.
Okay.
And if we want this in perspective, we want to put out some guidelines for us that will help us to realize where things are going to go, like the handle and so on. So I'm going to make another ellipse here. Now we start to see what kind of perspective this is. It's tilted slightly from the top. So we
Okay.
can look into the cup a little bit. This is inside of the cup.
This
So
is
what does
inside
that
the
mean?
cup.
If we go down here to the base, it means that this silhouette right here should be slightly wider than this one because it's in perspective, right? So if we go, I can show you what I mean by doing. So we go larger and larger and all the way to the
That's what he
bottom.
means. So
What we have.
bigger.
I think that's a good radius
Bigger.
for this
Okay.
bottom ellipse down here. So what do we want to do now? We want to connect these edges to create our cup. So simply make two lines like this. And we might want to define the bottom line a bit more. Looks a bit messy, but that's totally fine. And add some thickness to it. I do that by adding a second ellipse on the inside here. And I want to visualize that these are radiuses here. So I make two curves like this, just to visualize that these edges are not sharp. They have radiuses on them. So what we want to keep it simple here. So we want to add a handle that goes from here to down here. And we can do that by just creating like an ear. And add some thickness to it.
Okay. So he just put like
So this
circle
is
right
the
around
edge.
here.
I'm
Another
sketching the
cylinder
edge of my handle
thing.
now.
Okay. So he put like an ear, didn't he? Yes, he did.
And this is the side. I hope this makes sense. This is the side of of the handle. Now, a handle usually is not sharp at all. It has roundness to it, and it's usually very smooth and soft to hold, unless it's one of those designer cups, which I don't know, they can do whatever. You never really know. But to visualize that, we want to put out. Actually, let's do it this way. Same thing as we did here with the radiuses here. We want to do the same thing here. So add some section lines, because this will help your eyes, and especially if you're working with engineers on a project, these small section lines will help them understand what it is you're sketching. Because if I don't put these out, it can mean anything. It can mean that this line right here is a sharp edge.
My cup is crooked.
A shadow down here. So now we don't know if this is round or sharp, or maybe it's round or glossy, which create these sharp reflections here. But we want for ourselves, or for everybody that's looking at this, we want them to know that this is a round handle or grip. And from here, we can start to, if we want, we can go into shading. And as I say in all my courses, we want to always keep in mind where the light source is. And by that I mean, where is the light coming from? Right now, light is coming from here. A little sun right there. So we have our coffee cup here. So what if we want to sketch one of these cubes in perspective, but we don't want to set up a grid line? We're going to talk about that next.
Okay. My cup looks crooked as hell. But the overall theory makes sense. His cup looks amazingly clean. My cup just looks like someone threw it on the floor and told somebody else to put it back together. And that's my cup. My cup is not smooth at all. But you get the gist of it, right? Just cylinder it and then just smooth it. Ah, man, this looks terrible. This looks terrible. But I get the gist of it. If I would have my cylinder was just all the way messed up. Yeah, I went down. It's just so uneven. If this was a bit more even, this wouldn't even look that bad, except for this cup. This line right here, I don't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah, I would clean this up. I would clean it up. Yes, that's what I would do. I would clean it up. But yeah, you get the gist. Not a bad thing that he just did. Basing it on an egg and a cylinder. Basing it on an egg and then sphere the heck out of it. Okay. I like it. Oh, blank paper.
So I hope we're not moving way too fast right now, because I want you to get everything that we talked about in this course. And if something is unclear, make sure you post a question or a discussion in the course discussion so the community, and I'll be happy to try and answer those for you. So in this lecture, we're going to talk about sketching with the perspective cloud sketching, as I call it, which I just showed you in the previous videos, and how to use that to sketch a bit more complex shapes than a coffee cup and a cube. So for this exercise, I want to show you how I would approach sketching, let's say, a vacuum cleaner, one of those small handheld vacuum cleaners. Same thing here. We want to first of all try to think of the product as a silhouette or as a unit. What are the main features of a handheld vacuum cleaner? So what do we need? We need the handle, and most of the handles look kind of similar. We need some way where the dust comes and collects something that usually you can take off, like a cartridge or similar to that. And we also need somewhere to put the suction engine, or the motor, and the suction, all the mechanics inside of it. So those are the three parts that we need. And if we've done the research, we kind of have an idea of how they all look like right now. so we can use that as a guide and move forward. All right, so let's get started. As always, I'm starting with an ellipse. So
Okay.
this will be our main body. It doesn't look like much right now.
Making
But
a list, huh?
after this, I want to put out a center line for this. Something like that. And I want to start to try to figure out where the handle goes. Usually it goes somewhere up here, right? So this is the
Oh, I'm very close to the edge.
front. Then we have the main body down here, this whole thing. And out from the main body comes a handle. And that's this part sticking out back here. I hope you can see that.
Ooh, nope. I'm out. I'm out
And
of
then
the
we want
edge.
to define the end points of this product. So my end point back here is going to be somewhere around here.
Okay, I'm sorry, people, but this is going to look really weird, but I have to cut it right here. And this would be the end point right here. Cool.
And I'm also keeping these in perspective. They go to a vanishing point that's outside up in that corner.
Okay.
So these lines are a bit, they are
We're going this way.
towards a line that.
This way, so we would end up right around here somewhere. You won't see it,
Now,
but it's
from
over
here,
there somewhere.
we have a good guide now on
Okay.
where to put the different features of this design, because we kind of see the shape of it, and we have an understanding of the proportions of it.
Okay.
So now we need to connect the dots and start to design and put in features. And how do we do that? Well, one thing you can do right now is to put in section lines, just to help your mind to figure out what is going on here.
Okay. Section lines, huh? So we just
basically put this in 3D. Maybe something like this. This can all change later, so it's no big deal if it's coming a bit wrong or weird right now. And we also need to put out the cartridge or the dust collection area and cut that off from the plastic or the main part of the body.
okay. No, he made this a definite line.
I'm cutting that off right around here. Now we need to define the baseline of this design. And it looks like this could probably work. We have a sharper corner down here. And if it ends up not working, you can always adjust as you go. That's an important thing to keep in mind, that whatever you do, if you get something wrong, it's not the end of the world. You can always adjust as you move ahead, move along. So I'm going to make a mouth here where the dust comes in. Looks something like this. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Connect these dots. This corner with this right here.
I made mine too big, didn't I?
And I'm not sure about this handle. I want to make it more ergonomical. So I'm going to make a slide stopper or whatever. Some sort of bulge at the end of this. So that your hand doesn't slide. Make a small radius back there as well. And from here, we basically have our design ready right now. I mean, the proportions are there. All we need to do now from here is to add all the details that goes in a vacuum cleaner, such as you need to have, maybe you have an on-off button up here. You can make that if you want to.
Yo, mine
so
looks.
When you hold it with your thumb, you can turn it on off by pushing it or pressing it. And we can make, maybe we can make this, if we're using markers or whatever, we can make this transparent so that you see what's going on inside of this little thing right here. We could do that. Or we also want to add line weight to all of our sketches.
Mine looks disturbingly weird.
It's simply,
but I think I know why.
How thick you're making.
Yeah, I think I know why. I think it's.
The way to think about the line weight is to.
I would need to go here.
The way to think about line weight is that the baseline that's closest to the ground should always be thicker.
Yep.
Than the rest of the lines.
I hate doing this.
Right now, I'm putting in the baseline. And that's the line that's on the table or sitting on the surface of whatever this vacuum is sitting on. It might be the floor or the table or whatever. But you see, I'm making that line a bit thicker than all the rest of the lines.
Yeah, it doesn't look smooth, but it looks better than before.
It gives some weight to the sketch, which you need to make it look like a product. We don't want it to be floating on the paper like it doesn't have a purpose and it doesn't sitting anywhere. We need to add some weight to the product, and we do that by using line weight. And if we want, we can add some reflections in here. Something like this. Basically do whatever we want from here. Add some thickness to this mouth down here.
Now I see what he did. Very interesting,
so that's
though.
One way of sketching using.
Very interesting.
Cloud sketching, as I call it, to sketch in perspective, faster than setting up a grid line.
Very interesting.
And also, as I mentioned earlier, way more fun, which is why we do all of this, right? Because we're having fun. So try it out, and if you want to copy this sketch, that's fine. Try it out and let me know what you think about the concept of cloud sketching, and I hope it helps you out.
Now, it's super interesting. Now, mind you, I was just following along. I wasn't really looking at my sketch all that much, but I fully understand what he was trying to say. The big difference was his sphere was so much bigger than mine. Yes, I admit it. He was bigger than mine. And his placement of things was a little bit more well-suited. But then again, it's his course, so he should be better at this than me. But pretty interesting concept, though. You go from the sphere, and then you build from there. It's a very interesting concept. I like it. I do like it. Yes, I do. If I could perfect this technique, this would be extremely useful. Extremely useful. Yes, it would. But okay, this is a terrible vacuum cleaner. I would not buy this. I would actually send in a complaint to the manufacturer, like, how can you even make this? This is weird. But it is valid practice. Very valid even. Okay, let's move on to another one. The next video. Let's go. Interesting stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to use the same piece of paper because we still have some space here, and I don't want to waste any more trees than we already are wasting. So what we're going to talk about now is how to sketch this or any cube without having to set up this perspective horizon line with the vanishing points and all that. So same thing here as we did with the cup. We want to think of the cube as think of the outlines of the cube first and in what perspective you want to visualize it in. So and then after that, we kind of want to put down what we know now. So we know that a cube has a plane.
Interesting. He starts here. Very interesting.
Right here. So from here, we know that if it goes in perspective down, that means that it goes to a vanishing point that's down here somewhere. That's down here outside of the paper. And these 2 points from here and here should point to this point down here. And what does that mean? It means that it will go something like this, the lines. So the thing here is that it does not have to be perfect. We're just putting them, we're putting the lines out very gently. So if we happen to make a mistake, for this example, this looks more like a curve, we can always go back and fix it up later on, and no one is ever going to notice. But you still save a lot of time doing this way, putting it down this way, than you would setting up an entire grid line.
True indeed.
And from here, we want to create the base. And as we know, these 2 lines goes to a vanishing point somewhere here, up in the sun. So that means that they're going to be tilted this way. And same for these ones, they're going to be tilted that way. So they end up in a vanishing point that's up here somewhere.
Okay.
So if this top line has that angle, the bottom line here needs to tilt a bit more upwards.
Yep.
Towards this corner.
Because they are converging to a certain point. Yeah, makes sense.
And that's about it. That's how I prefer the sketching perspective. Even though it does not get perfect, you would get a more perfect result if you use this technique and a ruler every single time. But I mean, how fun is it to sketch like that? I don't think it's intuitive, and it looks kind of like a what is this called? Like a 3D CAD drawing with no life to it. So the sketch ends up looking kind of.
What's interesting
lifeless
is that he really spends a lot of time doing line weights
in my sketches, and
on every single
they don't
drawing.
definitely have to be perfect, as long as you can communicate what it is you're
very interesting what he's doing
there. And if there are any imperfections, so that's just makes the sketch more beautiful, in my opinion. Because if something is too perfect, it just gets boring because it's too predictable. So we want to make some mistakes. And then you can start to shade, I mean, if you want to. Now we have the sun apparently coming from here. I didn't even think of it. Because I already started to shade this, so this should be surface number 1. And let's
made this 1.
2 there.
You made this 2.
Number 3 here, and this is
you made this 3
area, and then we have number 2, which I can shade as well, just to show you guys.
Okay, we're shading this one too, apparently.
And now, if we need number 3 to be a bit darker than number 2, we can cross shade.
Oh, okay, we're going cross shade, baby.
Unless we have markers, of course. If we have markers, we can just doodle some marker, cool gray there, cool gray here, and cool gray there. So that's my way of sketching in perspective. I think it's more fun. It's not as academical or whatever as this version. Although this version is great, as I said, if you're just starting out, it's perfect to start with this. Once you get a hang of this, it would be cool if you just tried this technique out, because you might think, like me, that it's way more fun to sketch like this. Who knows? I just wanted to show you guys this technique anyway. So now let's talk about sketching some more complex shapes in perspective using this technique.
Okay, I have to fully agree with him. It doesn't matter how or what. I hate making those grids. I hate them. I hate them so much. Ooh, I hate them. Just drawing this stuff, just going in and just putting the lines down is so much more fun. Seriously, it's so much more fun. I want to show you like one real quick exercise that I did to like get the hang of drawing cubes. Just a real quick exercise. Just a real quick exercise. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. Heck, it doesn't even need to look perfect or whatever. But it's just a real quick, fun little practice run you can do to like practice drawing the cube in 3D. You actually draw the cube. And you can do this cube and you can do this exercise and you can take it as far as you want to. Because we're going this way now, but now, guess what, baby? Guess what, baby? We're gonna bring you down. Yeah, the cube is gonna go down. Yes, he is. And you can just keep doing this and doing this until eventually you hit bang. You're back to yeah. I'm almost at the end of the page, so I have to like cut it off. But you get the gist, right? So with this one you go here, with this one you go down, and now this is where things get like interesting because now you have to mix these two together. Think about what's happening here, because now you are gonna turn this one in space to make it to make this look like it's going down as well. So with basically what you're saying then is this, you increase the space, but you just that, and now you just gotta increase the space just a little bit more. I totally messed this up. I was trying to be all slick with it. I suck for this one, but you get the gist, right? I don't even want to show you this. No, why not? I don't know why I did that. I could erase it. I could erase it. Totally forgot I had an eraser. Yeah, but you get the gist, right? You can go this way, then you can go down. This is an amazing exercise that will really, really push your understanding of the cube. Seriously, this stupid exercise messed me up in a lot of ways, but it also really, really helped me to, well, figure out how to draw the cube in a convincing way. Because, well, no matter how you want to cut it, the cube is uh, an amazing piece of work. Yes, it is. Now, like I said, I'm gonna mess this up. I just wanted to show you that doing this whole exercise is really, really good practice. Like seriously good practice. You might want to get into this. Let me draw a few more cubes just for the heck of it, because we don't want to waste paper, now do we? No, we don't. Bay. Oh yeah. Another fun thing you can do is just do this, and then make that into a cube. Because what happens then is you are forcing your cube to come alive. You're telling your cube, nope, you're not static. You are moving. Your cube, this cube right now, he's going up in the world. That's what he's doing. You can just do, and then just give your cube life. Just give your cube life. It can be whatever way you want to do it. See, now this guy is stretching. That's what he's doing. He had a long day in the gym. No, he wasn't in the gym. He went to the bar. He had a long day at the bar, sitting on that stool, complaining to the bartender about his miserable life as a cube. Because, well, a circle is sleeping with his wife. Sad life, man, this cube. He's very sad. Yes, he is. Sad cube. Yeah. I might give the cube a whole comic book, talk about stuff. Call it the Sad Cube's life. Now, if you do it like this, you would be, no, it would still work. It would just feel a little forced, if you get what I'm trying to say. It would be like, wee. It could work, but it would just change the shape. This, your cube comes to life. This, you change the shape of the cube. Either way, you're doing something. So, yeah, just keep working on it. Eventually, you will figure out what you want to do with your cubes. But understanding the cube really helped me out a lot because the cube is one of the building blocks of being able to draw anything and everything. At least if you believe every every instructor out there. Yeah. So it depends on if you believe people or if you don't believe people. Now, I usually don't believe people, but when they show me what they can do with this simple cube, it's disturbing, by the way. I have to believe them. This felt like a practice page, and my practice pages always have to be filled up because a practice page is not anything special. Heck, any drawing isn't anything special. No drawing is anything special. Let me say it like that. Let me be a little bit grammatically correct. There we go. Let's go to the next one. Bang. On to the next one. Let's go. Next video.
So I can't leave a course without having at least one car sketch in it. So that's what we're gonna do right now, because I know a lot of you guys love to sketch cars just as much as I do. So we're gonna use the concept of cloud sketching to sketch a couple of cars in, let's say, 3/4 rear view. We can make a 3/4 front view, and why not a side view? So let's start with the 3/4 rear view.
Okay.
I'm gonna put all of these on one sheet of paper so it looks nice. So what we want to do, same thing here. Get the outlines of the proportions first. Here's
Okay.
our silhouette. This is going to be the main body of our car. Now I want to put out a center line for this, and some sort of back wing or something like that. From here, we want to start to put out the wheels of this car. And we do that by putting the first, just making half circles like this. So that's the front wheel. And we can kind of see where the rear wheel is going to end up. Around here somewhere.
We can? Okay, I'm following along.
This is going to be a bit bigger than the front half circle because it's in perspective and it's coming towards us. And from here, we want to add the front fender. Something like this. And about half in between these two, in between this point and this point, we want to start the greenhouse, if it's a sports car, of course. So we want to start it somewhere around this point right there.
Okay, I'm going for right here. I'm going to start here. And what am I doing? I'm going up?
And keep in mind that
Okay.
it's supposed to be two people inside of the car, which means that this point needs to be a bit straightened out here so that we can actually fit two people in there. And then we start to go back down.
Then we start to go back down? Okay.
And as you can see now, I need to adjust this wing here as I go because it ended up in the wrong place. But it's no big deal.
It isn't? Okay.
Just gonna make it like that. And now we want an end point for this. So let's make it something like that maybe. And let's add a beautiful bumper in there. And let's add also a center line that goes straight through here, which gives us a bit more of a guidance of where things are going and what we're doing. So we can maybe, now from here we can see the proportions of the car, right? Let's put up the wheel of this side as well. So from here, we need to design the car now because the proportions are there. We have the wheelbase and the wheels, and we have the end point right here and the end point right here. So from here, it's basically up to you to decide how you want to design this car.
It is? Okay, dude. Okay.
Like this. also thinking about the line weight here. So I want to keep the lines that are in shadow a bit thicker than the rest of the lines. And I'm assuming that the sun is coming out from the top here. And we need to define the rear wheel arch right here. Then
This should go way down. Okay.
Side window. And a rear window as well. Since we have our center line, we kind of have a guide here how we should design it. And keep in mind that this, obviously, I mean, you can use this technique on any type of product, not just cars and vacuum cleaners. It works for pretty much anything, as long as you have an idea of what it is you want to sketch. Now that's the important. That's the important part. If you don't know what to sketch, then you might want to go back to one of the first videos we posted on how to unblock your sketcher spot, and just start doing those exercises before you jump into
even more, huh?
Sketching.
Got to bring it down even more. But okay, let's keep it going because let's follow along what he does, what he's doing.
And now I'm just putting out the wheels. Now let's make a rear view mirror here as well. And I'm going in now to start to define the lines and the line weight of each line. Keep it in mind that the light is coming from the top. And we might need some exhaust here as well. So let's put a center big exhaust, Lambo style right here, because I always sketch them like two exhausts like this, which is kind of boring. So I'm trying to mix it up a little bit here. And if you want, you can add as much detail as you want on the sketch. I'm just going to keep it really simple and put out a 5-spoke wheel and connect the spokes by just making a curve in between the spokes at the base. That's probably the fastest way to sketch wheels, I think. And it still looks good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And connect them. Work a bit more on the line weight to give the car a bit of weight on the ground. And I want a diffuser here. I'm going to make that. So two diffusers or wings or whatever you want to call it on each side. Actually, make it 3 because it looks empty here. There we go. And another one out here. So we have 3 on both sides. If you want, you can go in and add some reflections, such as the horizon line, for example, right here. These are just details. We could call this sketch done if we wanted to, but I just want to add a few basic reflections in here to make it a bit more interesting. So that was our 3/4 rear view right here. I hope it made sense. Now we're going to jump into the 3/4 front view, and hopefully it's going to end up okay. Wish me luck, and we shall see how it goes.
Okay. Okay. I haven't been drawing cars for a long time. Actually, this is one of my first cars ever. And I have to say, this is a really freaking awesome method. Yes, I love this method. I am very upset that this method is now just revealed to me. This is a very awesome method. I love this method. Yes. Okay. I'm officially a fan of this method. My car looks crooked, but it looks valid. It's weird to explain. It looks crooked, but it looks valid. And the fact that it looks valid means everything to me because, well, I've never drawn a valid looking car. That is very unique to me. Um, okay, I just drew a valid looking car. I'm good. We're gonna go for the next one and see if we can draw another valid looking car. This actually looks like a car, dude. I've never drawn a car, dude. This like yeah. And we drew the whole car with just the cylinder. No, a sphere. We drew it with a sphere. This guy's freaking awesome, man. I like this guy. He made me draw a car. Haha. Let's go.
So to create the front view here, recorder, we start the exact same way by making an ellipse.
Okay, make another list, man.
Put out the end point of the front, which is going to be somewhere around here. I use this line as a center line right now.
Okay.
And what we want to do next is put out the wheels, just as we did right here. So I'm putting out the rear wheel first.
Okay.
And then I'm putting out the front wheel.
Ooh,
Not
okay.
perfect at all, but it doesn't really matter. And from here, we want to create the hood. And I'm using this ellipse now as a guide to everything I'm doing. And same thing here. We have the ellipse here at the base, and the hood is sticking out a bit. I want to do the same thing here.
Okay.
So from here, we want to add the greenhouse, which is going to start somewhere here. We want a long hood because it's
you put the center right around here, right?
We want a low hood that's going to end somewhere around here. So we need to connect those dots. And as I said before, if you make any mistakes, you can always adjust as you go, just as I did right here. Because I saw that this window is not wide enough, so I needed to make it wider.
I don't see that, man.
Now
I don't see that.
This line, this dot, top of the wheel with the end of the car, with the rear of the car. From here, we want to create the other part of the hood, the R side of the hood. It's going to look something like that, and create a window as well. So here, now we have the basic proportions of our car, and we can use this as a guide to continue to design our car. For example, make the front fascia how we want it to look like. We can make a baseline first. The baseline is going to be somewhere around here. And create the headlights, for example. And I'm starting to think about the line weight already. And make the headlight in perspective on this side. And from here, we can create the center point again, or center line, just to help us control the sketch and help us understand where everything is going to go, because it can be quite difficult after a while.
You're telling me, dude.
And from here, we decide ourselves how we want this car to be designed and what we want it to look like. Because everything else is in place. We have the proportions of the car. We have the wheel base. And all we got to do now is just put out the wheels. It might sound easy. It is easy once you've done it a few times and you practice this. It becomes really easy to get the basic proportions down. And then we can start with after that, I mean, you start with the fun part, which is to design the car, put out the different kind of aspects of the design and features that you want to put on there. So some rear mirrors, sorry. And I'm going to define the front a bit more. Maybe this can be an air intake down here. Looks pretty cool. And let's make a light bulb or one of these HID with some LEDs in here, because every single car seems to have them nowadays. I think Audi, I think, was the first one who started the whole LED craziness with their R8, which back then was insane. It was really cool. I remember the first time I saw the R8, blew my mind with those lights. But now it seems like every single car just has some bling in the front. We can put out.
I shouldn't do that because everything sucks, but yeah, whatever.
The cut line for the door, because that's going to help understand the shape of the side. Because we made it go out here and then down, which means that there's a shoulder here, and the shoulder line ends right here. Same thing here, shoulder. Now I understand if this is going a bit too fast. Totally understand that.
No, really.
And if there's something that's not clear, just ask me the question or the time in the lecture. Just write down the minutes, and I can explain exactly what it is I mean in that specific time. Because it can be a bit much just learning all of this at once. And we can make some black plastic part down here. Define the wheels a bit more, or the wheel arches, I should say.
Dude, he's going fast, man. Holy smokes. I can't even speak. Like I gotta focus. This guy's going quick, people. This guy's going quick, man.
Right now I'm just playing around with the line weight and defining the final design as I want it to be. Because everything else is already done. I want to put out the horizon line, just as we did with the rear view. And shade that. Really fast. And some line weight to this part down here to give it some weight on the paper.
Dude, he's going fast.
Yeah, that's one way of sketching cars using what I call cloud sketching, which helps. It helps out a lot. It's a simple technique, which is basically you get the proportions down first. That's the only thing you should focus on first. The proportions of your product, the geometries of the product, and then you put those down in the simplest form. This could even be, this started as an ellipse. It could even be, you could probably make two cubes in perspective if you wanted to as well. To visualize the main body right here as a cube, and then you can make another small cube sticking out here, and then start to define the design and the outline of the car or product you're sketching. And from there, when you have the proportions down, that's the hard part. That's the part where either you get it right, or if you continue from there, the sketch might look a bit weird if the proportions are off. But if you have the proportions down, getting the details, that's the easy part. So let's continue with one final car sketch, and now let's do it in side view.
Yo, I hate this guy, man. He was going fast. Holy smokes. His looks clean. Mine looks dirty. Dirty. But it still looks like a car. You can still read it. This is a car. And that is very important. But he said the word proportions. Proportions is one of the things that I really, really suck at. And I really got to practice it. But usually my proportions are off when it comes to human anatomy. I didn't think my proportions would be off when it comes to a car. Dude. A quick method to fix proportions on a car is by using perspective. And I know he said perspective, but to actually use the method that was described in another course where you have this, right? You have like a cube and you want to multiply this cube, like you want to bring it over here. You would basically find the center point. Center point would be right around here. And then makes it right here, right? Okay. From this would be your center point. So then from here, if you just pull this line through and pull this line through, from here, from this corner, the top left one, you would bring a line through here. And wherever that ends up, bang, go up. That would be your second cube. Now, I know this is not super clean because, well, this is clearly not the same size. But you get the gist of it, right? Here to here. Now, if you did this like really, really, really clean, you would have an identical cube. I promise you. But I don't want to bring out the ruler, and I didn't practice this enough to do it as clean as I wanted to. But you get the gist of it, right? You do, because you're smart. You're smart. You're so much smarter than me. I mean, I'm just freestyling my way out of this life, man. Yeah. This does not look even, but well, you get the gist, man. Whatever. Yeah, that is a good way to find where you should put the wheel, because he's just eyeballing the shit out of this stuff. He's doing an amazing job. I will give him that. I'm sorry I can't show you the footage, copyright stuff, but he's doing an amazing job. It's just eyeballing everything. Freaking awesome. I'll give it to him. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's start with another one. I think this is, well, we're on 9 right now. We got 3 videos left and we are done. Okay. Let's go. Next one.
All right, so let's complete this sheet of paper and make it perfect with one final side view down here. So, what do we want to think about when we start the side view? Well, same thing as with these two. We want to start with the basic proportions of the car, of the side view.
Okay.
So, we might want to start with an ellipse.
We're going to do another ellipse, huh? I got a new piece of paper.
Ellipses everywhere, which we always start with an ellipse, seems like. And from here, we want to put out the wheels.
Okay.
So, let's start with the rear wheel.
Okay, we're just going to put a wheel on it, huh?
3 wheel distance, something like that. And then we put out the front wheel.
Oh, my wheel is too big.
That got messed up, but it's fine. Let's make this a bit bigger.
1,
so now
2, 2.
I mean, for me, I've done this so many times. So right now, I can already see where the roof line is, because the roof line is going to go right here where the ellipse is. And
good for you that you've done it so many
times. The
times.
curvature of this roof line to make it fit our car. So from this point here of the ellipse and back, it basically it's going to look like that. Follow the ellipse almost to the exact point. But we need a windscreen, so we're gonna make the curve go a bit down here. And since it's a front engine car, we need to create a hood as well.
Ooh, nope. I should have gone the other way.
Do
Ooh,
something like that.
I didn't know he was going for the front. Freaking weirdo.
And let's also define the rear end of the car. So we're gonna cut it off right there and make some sort of bumper maybe right here. And I'm not too happy with the proportions of this car, so I'm gonna try and adjust as I go. Let's see if we can fix it.
I'm not fixing anything because
want
I
a bit
can't see it
more-
just yet.
I want a bit more overhang at the back. Something like that, it looks better. And also the windshield or windscreen is curved, which means we're still gonna see it if we're looking at it from the side view. So we're gonna add that here as well, just like we did just now. And then we can start to define the front view as well. Make some air intakes right here. And this wheel is way too big. And I connect the wheels with a baseline.
Okay.
You make a line like this. You can do whatever you feel like here. There are really no rules when you're sketching because this car is never gonna go into production anyway. So
Facts.
our job is just to make it look cool. And I like that. And that's my kind of sketching. Just to make stuff look cool. And now I want to define the side window here. Keep it something like that. Looks cool. And let's define the shoulder line here. Maybe you can go something like that. And now I'm going in with the line weight. So I want to start with, I always keep in mind that the light source is coming from the top, which means that all surfaces and all lines facing down towards the ground is going to be darker than the rest of the lines. Especially this baseline down here. It's definitely going to be darker than all of the other lines. Same thing with this line. And this line right here. We can make the door. And we can make some rims if we want to do that. I think I'm just going to keep it 5 spokes. So I'm putting the center of the wheel a bit towards this way. Because this car is still in perspective. Even though we see it from the side view, it's still a vanishing point that goes somewhere far behind this car. And these lines all are angled towards that specific point. Make some cool rims here. What I'm trying to encourage with this type of sketching is to not try to take it too seriously, and definitely don't think too much about all the rules out there on how to sketch, because I think that's gonna, at least it did it. I mean, it locked me in to thinking that was, kind of the only way to sketch if you want to work as a designer, which was what I wanted to do. And I was reading all these books, and pretty much every single book told the same thing, which is putting up a grid line and doing all of this and all of that vanishing points, which is, I said it before, which is really cool when you're just starting out. But then when you grow in your sketching, it's always good to test different techniques and just remember to always have fun when you're doing this. Because if you're not having fun, then it's not worth doing at all. I think you gotta have fun doing whatever it is you're doing. So right now I'm putting in I'm visualizing the interior through the window. This window is, let's say it's tinted, you can still see some major features like the inside ceiling here and the back and stuff like that. You can still see that through the window.
Interesting stuff, though. He's going super fast,
This
people.
front is kind of messed up.
Yes, it's super messed up.
It's not
Shut
a
up.
big deal. I think I got the point across about sketching with the ellipsis and cloud sketching.
Yeah, my ellipse is totally messed up, but I do see his point. If I stretch this out just a little bit more, he might have like a valid card.
Horizon lines. I've been doing on all my sketches. I'm trying to keep it for this course. I'm trying to keep this as basic as possible because I don't want to confuse you too much and go into too advanced shapes and designs before you kind of take this part about cloud sketching, because it can be quite a lot to learn in just one short course. And I'm going to continue to make these courses, so if you have requests of what you want to see or what you want to learn in the future, please let me know in the community or the comment section, and I'll be happy to help you out if you have any specific requests of courses or sketching or design or anything I can help you with. I'm always happy to help you.
Dude, interesting though. No jokes. Very interesting.
So that's about it, guys. That was the concept of, first of all, unblocking your Sketchers block, because that's the first step of getting your creativity going, right? You need to unblock that and just get your hand moving, not even thinking about stuff. Just get your hand moving and get some clean sheets of paper and just start to doodle some crazy stuff on there. That's the first step of this course. And then we went through cloud sketching, the basics with the cubes and simple geometries, and we continued with sketching these cars here using the same kind of technique. Basically, it's the same basics, which is starting with ellipses and going from there and get the proportions down right first. And from the proportions, you go into all the details of the product, such as, in this case, these headlights here, or these, where you put the shoulder line and so on. So I hope you enjoyed this course, and if you did, I would really appreciate it if you could take 1 minute to leave a short review, just to let me and people looking at the course know what you think about the course. Thank you so much for joining me in this course. I hope it was useful to you. My name is Marwan Bamley, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, take it easy and keep sketching.
Okay, we're not done yet. Let's go to the next one.
First of all, congratulations on finishing this class. I hope you found it useful.
I did.
Now, I want to talk to you about the class assignment. So for this class, I would love to see you sketch a coffee cup using the cloud sketching technique. Now, remember that the cloud sketching technique is all about adjusting as you go. So don't worry if you get the lines wrong or the perspective doesn't look good. We're here to help you, and this class is all about practicing. So it doesn't matter if you feel like it's not the most perfect sketch. And if you don't feel like sketching a coffee cup, you could pick whatever object that's around you right now on the table or wherever you are, and try to just use the cloud sketching technique to get that light in perspective. Look forward to seeing your work there. Thank you again so much for taking this class. I hope to see you next time. Take it easy.
Uh, so use the cloud sketching to draw stuff. Interesting concept.
Hey, it's Maran here again. And just before we leave, I just want to make a quick reminder of how you post your projects in this class. So once you've gone through all the lectures or lessons here on the right side, and you've gone down to the class assignment and done the class assignment, and you want to upload it, all you have to do is click on Start a Project down here. And this will allow you to upload your sketch and your file into the projects gallery, which is right here. I really look forward to seeing your work in here. I hope you decide to share it, because it's always fun for me to see the student work in here. And also, if you like the class, please don't forget to give it a short review. That would really make my day. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much once again for taking this class. I'll see you next time.
That was a very useful class. That cloud sketching thing, extremely useful. I can't even front. You just make a sphere and then you just go around it. Like, you know what? I'm going to do this right here. And then you use that as a guideline. And then you can just draw whatever the heck you want, huh? Interesting concept. Very interesting concept. I am not going to do the homework because, well, you know, it's 3 a.m. where I'm at right now, and it's about time I go to bed. But I did enjoy this course. It was very useful, very interesting, pretty insightful. So I can recommend you follow this course once you have a solid understanding of perspective. Do not follow this course if you do not have a solid understanding of perspective. And even if you do, just keep in mind this guy goes really quick. I followed it pretty roughly. I'm pretty sure if I just stopped the video and actually patiently followed his advice, I could have come up with a lot better drawings. But that would take a pretty long time to do. And well, we are streaming right now, and I don't want to sit for like 10 hours perfecting something. I just want to follow it and then see what the value of it is. And this was indeed pretty freaking valuable. So I can most certainly agree with the fact that you should try, and if not try, just do this course, because it is going to help you get better. And isn't that always the rules of the game? To get better, isn't it? Isn't it, people? Isn't it? At least for me it is. I don't know about you guys, but for me it is. If I'm not getting better, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Yeah. And in case you're wondering what I'm drawing right now, me too. I have no idea what this is. But hey, I'm drawing, and that's what matters, right? Just keep drawing, and eventually you will find something that is interesting. Eventually you will see something that you didn't see before. And who knows, it might even be pretty freaking creative. Because creativeness is the key to life, man. It's the key to life. If you're not creative, then what the heck are you doing? What the heck are you doing watching my videos? I mean, I'm a nobody. Shouldn't, and I'm just a nobody following some courses to become somebody. Yep. Nah, this was an interesting course. This was like my first SkillShare course. And SkillShare is one of the better ones from what I have heard. And I might follow a few more SkillShare courses to get like a full set of skills from these guys, because well, SkillShare, if everything is on this level and everything is like uh from valid instructors, then yeah, it might actually be worth it. It might actually be worth it. I will have a look at more Skillshare courses. I will. Yes, I diddly will. Ooh, tangent, my bad. Who gives? A. Hoodly do. As long as I shade it incorrectly, the tangent shouldn't be that big of a problem. But yeah, you should always avoid tangents because tangents are bad. If you believe in the concept of good and bad, it's just the eye doesn't like seeing it, apparently. But um, yeah, real quick, I'm just trying to fill up this page because that's what I'm supposed to do as someone who practices. You just fill up the page and don't overthink it. You just keep going and keep going and keep going until you get somewhere. Yeah, yeah. You know what's interesting though? A lot of art channels, they don't draw anymore. You noticed? They're all about look what I did and look how I did this and look at me doing this. It's not about drawing per se, which is cool, which is totally cool. I'm just sad that art channels aren't about art anymore. They're more about showing people how cool they are, which is sad. But then again, it's the way of the world, man. It's the way of the world. Okay. Yeah, we are done. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.